I have an eating disorder. Obviously, going into this video, I want to put like a content trigger warning because I am going to be talking pretty in depth about my eating disorder. So if this kind of information, isn't good for you to hear, don't watch it. I have an eating disorder called ARFID, which stands for avoidant-restrictive food intake disorder. Basically, it's just that I'm a really, really picky eater, but to the point where it's not normal. ARFID is similar to anorexia in the sense that both diseases involve being really sensitive around food and limiting what food you're eating. But it's not about body image, unlike anorexia. It's about sensitivities and sensory processing disorders. ARFID is something that really isn't that known about. There's not a lot of data out there about it. There's not a lot of research. It's brand new to the DSM-5. So trying to find like people that can help me with this has been pretty difficult. I finally officially got diagnosed with this in March of 2020, even though it's something I've been dealing with for honestly most of what I can remember. It's something I've been dealing with since I was about 5 years old, but nobody really knows why it developed. When people first find out about my eating habits, they usually just tend to assume that I'm just a picky eater, because a lot of people are. But the difference between picky eating and ARFID is that most people grow out of their picky eating. People's taste buds change, people kind of grow up and mature, and I really never had that. So to me, trying new foods and being adventurous by eating is a much more terrifying thing. Because this happened when I was about 5 years old and I stopped exploring new foods and trying new things, it means that I've kind of gotten stuck with a 5-year-old's diet. So most of my like safe foods, most of my go-to foods, most of what I eat are the same foods that, little kids like eating, like chicken nuggets and pasta and pizza, candy, anything like that. And most of my not safe foods are like more adventurous foods, like sushi terrifies me. Sushi terrifies me. A lot of the questions that I get about this is what specifically makes food so terrifying, and why can't I just try something new? For me, I have two big things, texture and smell. Obviously, smell usually comes first. It means that in a lot of restaurants, I have a really difficult time even just kind of sitting still and relaxing because I'm on edge and anxious. Stuff like the cafeteria in high school, where it was just kind of the collection of everybody's food plus the school food together, was honestly a nightmare. The other thing that I'm really sensitive to is texture. Now, a lot of people can kind of understand this. People are really sensitive to sometimes like paper, sometimes like if you scrape your fingernails on a wall. I think it's easier for people to understand when they think about it in that context, but for me, I can't get past it. I wish that people understood this isn't something that I can just get over. Any eating disorder isn't something that people can just get over. It's not that simple. Sometimes I'll get comments from people about how like just try this, like I swear, like everybody likes this, like just eat it, and they'll be really insistent that I try their new foods. Or other times I get comments about how like I'm just doing it for attention, or like it's not really that serious, or I just need to grow up or something like that. I don't choose to do this. I really do wish that I could eat normally. It affects my life in a ton of different ways because eating is something that you do 3 times a day, every single day. And as we're having this conversation about mental health disorders and stuff, I'm hoping that people will finally start to recognize that ARFID is an actual eating disorder. The thing that I want most from making this video, from uploading it on YouTube and sharing it with friends and family, and the thing that I want most with the National Eating Disorders Awareness Week is just for people to listen to those of us who have to struggle with this. And it's not stuff for attention. It's not made up. It's not just a cute trope in a movie. It's real and it sucks. It sucks so much. I definitely don't want to make anybody who knows me personally who maybe has made these comments or made these mistakes. The goal isn't to make you feel bad. The goal is just to make you aware, maybe for the next person that you meet, whether that's somebody also with ARFID or somebody with a different eating disorder, or someone who maybe is just eating a little bit differently at dinner time that you're used to. Just let people do what they need to, Trust that they're doing their best that they can, and, get your friends help when they need it. But for the most part, just like, mind your business, dude. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate having you hear me out. It means a lot to me. In the description of this video, I'm going to link as many resources as I can, whether it's to phone numbers or to websites, and just sort of any sort of place that I feel like has good information, not just on ARFID, but on really any sort of eating disorder and on mental health in general. So yeah, bye. I don't have a good outro. I'm sorry. This isn't an official like YouTube thing.